The lonely little cloud. High up in the endless sky, where the sun shone bright and the wind played gently, lived a tiny gray cloud named Drizzle. Unlike the other clouds that floated happily across the sky, Drizzle had a problem. He couldn't stop crying. No matter how beautiful the day was, little raindrops would always fall from him. The big, fluffy clouds around him laughed and played, changing shapes into castles, dragons, and giant ships sailing across the sky. But Drizzle, he only made everything below him wet. "Why do you always cry, Drizzle?" asked Puffy, a big white cloud. "I don't know," Drizzle sniffled. "I just feel like I have so many raindrops inside me, and they just keep falling." The other clouds sighed and floated away, leaving Drizzle alone. "I just wish I could be like them," Drizzle whispered, letting another tear fall. The journey begins. One day, the wise old wind noticed Drizzle sitting alone, crying into the fields below. "Little one, why do you weep?" Wind asked, swirling gently around him. "I don't know," Drizzle replied sadly. "I try to stop, but I can't. No one wants to be near a cloud that always cries." The wind thought for a moment, then smiled. "Perhaps you need to see the world below. Sometimes, understanding our purpose makes our burdens lighter." Drizzle hesitated. He had never traveled beyond the skies he knew, but something about Wind's words filled him with hope. "All right," Drizzle said, wiping his misty tears. "Where do we go?" "Follow me," Wind whispered, carrying Drizzle gently down toward the earth. The thirsty flowers. Drizzle floated lower and lower until he saw a golden field of sunflowers. But something was wrong. Their petals drooped, and their leaves curled in sadness. "Oh no, what happened?" Drizzle gasped. "They are thirsty," Wind explained. "The sun has been shining for days, and there has been no rain." Drizzle blinked. Could his tears help? Taking a deep breath, Drizzle let his raindrops fall softly over the sunflowers. As the water touched their roots, the flowers lifted their heads, drinking in the cool relief. Soon, they stood tall again, their bright faces beaming toward the sky. "Thank you, little cloud." The sunflowers swayed happily. Drizzle smiled for the first time. Maybe his tears weren't so bad after all. The laughing river. As Wind carried him further, Drizzle saw a winding river below. But instead of flowing swiftly, the river had become small and still. "The river is shrinking," Wind said. "Without water, the fish and animals will struggle." Drizzle hesitated. Would his raindrops be enough? Summoning all his little drops, Drizzle poured a gentle rain over the river. The water rose, and soon, the river danced once more, giggling as it rushed through the land. "That tickles," the river laughed, swirling around rocks. Drizzle giggled. It was the first time his joke had made someone laugh. The farmer's gratitude. Further ahead, Drizzle saw a farmer standing in a dry field, staring at the cracked ground. His crops were withering, and his animals were thirsty. Drizzle felt a pang of sadness. "I can help," he whispered. With all his might, he let his raindrops fall, soaking the dry earth. The soil drank the water hungrily, and the plants perked up, their leaves turning green again. The farmer looked up and smiled. "Rain, thank you, little cloud." Drizzle's heart swelled. Maybe crying wasn't a weakness. Maybe it was a gift. Meeting the rainbow. As Drizzle floated through the sky, feeling lighter than ever, a shimmering arc of colors appeared before him, a rainbow stretching across the horizon. "You've been quite busy, little one," Rainbow said warmly, its colors glowing in the sunlight. Drizzle looked down at the world below and saw a wonderful sight: flowers blooming brighter, rivers flowing happily, and golden fields stretching far and wide. His raindrops had brought everything back to life. "Was this all because of me?" Drizzle asked in amazement. "Yes," Rainbow nodded. "Your tears bring life. Without rain, the world would be dry, the rivers would shrink, and the trees would wither. Your gift is special." Drizzle had spent so much time wishing he could stop crying that he never realized how important his raindrops were. He watched as children danced in puddles and farmers smiled at their revived crops. His rain had brought joy, laughter, and renewal. "Thank you, Rainbow," Drizzle said, feeling a warmth in his misty heart. "You are welcome, little one," Rainbow replied, "and whenever the rain meets the sun, I will always be here to remind you of the beauty you create." Drizzle beamed, ready for his next adventure. A stormy surprise. Just as Drizzle was beginning to understand his purpose, the sky darkened, and a powerful storm began to form. Giant storm clouds gathered, rumbling like a great beast waking from its sleep. Thunder roared, and lightning split the sky. Drizzle trembled. He had never seen such a mighty storm up close before. Was this what happened when clouds cried too much? "Do not be afraid," wind whispered as it swirled around him. "Even storms have their purpose." Drizzle watched in awe as heavy rain poured over the land. At first, it seemed wild and overwhelming, but then he noticed something incredible. The dry lakes were filling up, trees swayed with excitement, and the air felt cool and fresh. Even in its fury, the storm was helping. It washed away dust, nourished the forests, and gave the rivers strength to keep flowing. Even the biggest storms can bring good things, Drizzle realized. When the storm finally passed, the world looked new, clean, fresh, and full of life. Drizzle no longer feared storms. Instead, he saw their power and purpose. "Maybe I'm not just a little crying cloud after all," Drizzle thought. "Maybe I'm part of something much bigger." The little cloud's choice. After the storm, Drizzle returned to his cloud friends, who greeted him with wonder and admiration. "You helped the world," Puffy exclaimed. "We were wrong to laugh at you." Drizzle smiled. He had spent so much time wishing he could stop crying, but now he knew his raindrops had a purpose. "You can stay with us now," Puffy offered kindly. Drizzle looked around at the familiar clouds, feeling warmth in his heart. He loved his cloud friends, but he also knew something deep inside. There was still so much more of the world to see and help. "I think I want to keep traveling," Drizzle said. "I want to bring rain to more places that need it." The wind swirled beside him, whispering, "Then your journey continues, little one." With a final goodbye, Drizzle floated forward, carried by the breeze, ready to spread his raindrops wherever they were needed. He was no longer just a lonely cloud. He was a bringer of life, a healer of the earth. And so, his adventure continued, spreading joy. Drizzle traveled across the lands, his raindrops touching every corner of the world. In dry deserts, his gentle showers cooled the golden sands, bringing relief to the weary travelers and thirsty animals. In lush forests, his misty rain helped the trees grow tall and strong. Over the oceans, his raindrops kissed the waves, filling them with new energy. Wherever he went, life bloomed. Children laughed as they splashed in puddles. Birds chirped as fresh water filled their nests. Farmers smiled as their crops grew green and healthy. The world needed Drizzle's raindrops, and he was happy to give them. One day, as he floated above a distant valley, he saw something wonderful, a rainbow stretching across the sky, just for him. "You are doing well, little one." Rainbow's colors shimmered. Drizzle beamed. He was no longer a sad little cloud. He was a traveler, a giver, a friend to the world. And with that, he kept moving, always looking for the next place that needed his gentle touch. A new purpose. Drizzle had finally found his place in the sky. He was no longer the lonely cloud who cried too much. He was a cloud who cared. He had learned that every drop of rain mattered. His tears were not a burden but a gift. He was part of something bigger than himself, a cycle that kept the world alive and thriving. And so, as the sun set behind the mountains, Drizzle floated happily across the sky, watching over the land he had helped nourish. He was no longer afraid of his tears, because now, he understood, he was meant to cry, and the world was better because of it. Wow, what a heartwarming journey. What do you think? Was Drizzle's crying a weakness or a strength? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more magical bedtime tales. Good night, little dreamers, sweet dreams.